Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89, and just like that, there's some more drama. Apparently, Sara Rodriguez has been dropped from the show and won't be appearing in season 3. Now, this is a rumor which is recent, but I mean, I sort of, as soon as I saw the headline, I just thought that makes sense. I felt last season they had too many characters, they were spread too thin. They really needed to solidify like a core group of girls and have one person replace the man for maybe two people, sort of like they needed to solidify the group. Whereas they were sort of doing more of a sort of free range approach where they just sort of had, instead of very separate little stories about characters, they just sort of had one sort of bigger story and everyone was sort of coming in and out. And it was sort of nice in a way. Gave people some opportunities in that, but it just was, there were times I was sort of thinking, where are these people? And then people popping up and like, where, it just wasn't working. And I sort of thought, well, I can kind of understand how they may have pulled it in and focused on just some characters and let others go. And Shay's the obvious choice because she is one of Miranda's exes. Now, the fact that she kept her around, that she was friends with Carrie, and as a former boss, and that it was actually some growth for Miranda to actually not just get rid of an ex, which is what she always did, which is very narcissistic. So it showed some growth in her character, and it was nice, but they really would have had to work hard to make that character interesting and relevant as a permanent character in the series. A recurring character, sure, fine, but so I wasn't surprised. But then I heard the rumors are actually political. Apparently she has been very outspoken about the Palestine issue, which I'm not going to get into. And she's been saying on Facebook that there are blacklists of people who have the wrong opinion and so forth, for saying things people don't like, and Hollywood has basically taken a side and created a blacklist and that she's on it. And then the rumors were that she was dropped from the show. And I'm like, did people just assume that because she was complaining about that she was dropped from the show? Because I don't see anything close to official or anything close to, well, it's just really just rumors at this point. People are speculating that she's been dropped from the show. And there were arguments that she was unnecessary or annoying or people didn't like the character, but there are also a lot of haters going after and Just Like That, because then Just Like That was a very diverse show. And I mean, Sex and the City always was. It was always about women, and people didn't like women having free agency and having a voice, and that's continued on with the same sort of people hating on the show, even though the show, was rating really well. So yeah, I can see some of these people, and a lot of homophobic people, just not wanting her on the show and just making this up, or just wanting this to happen, sort of willing this to be almost. But yeah, if you take a political stand on certain things, there are going to be issues, and that's why it's smarter to keep your politics separate from your job, especially if your job involves you taking on a public role, because pretty much any argument, any issue, you're going to alienate 50% of the audience, or whatever percent of the audience. So I'm not sure what's happening, but like when I first saw the article, I thought it makes sense to drop in the character because she's not like a core character. There's nowhere to go with the character. She helped Miranda grow and all that. So I sort of assumed all that. And then I heard the political stuff. I'm like, oh, maybe it's that. But then maybe people are just starting a rumor on that because it's juicy and gets people looking at it. And, people are exploiting that actual situation by stories like that. So that's pretty ugly as well. But yeah, I just thought it was curious. Like I said, at first I thought, I know what video I'm going to make. I understand why they did this. I can see why it's happening. And then it's like, no, it's a total other thing. And I have no idea about that issue. I don't know who's wrong or right, or who should say what or shouldn't say what. All I know is you say anything, the other side is going to hate you. So and she's an activist, as an actress, as a person, and she's trying to separate between herself and her character. And I'm like, you're assuming people are intelligent enough to do that. Most people can't or won't. They don't want to. They want to make you certain roles so they can, cast you in their own sort of drama. So, yeah. So, I don't know if it's true or not, but I wouldn't be that sad if she went as a regular character. But I'd like to see her come back here and there. Just just be in the mix. Who was that wonderful character in the first episode? Von Muffling. I've forgotten her first name. Just characters like that. There are great characters in the show that I'm happy to see come back and be recurring in that, but we don't need to have such a large core group. They need to pick one or two. Maybe they could pull it off with 6, like replace Samantha with Seema, and then have the other 2 girls. But even those, their stories seemed fairly contained, like not being able to have a child, just the general sort of single mother sort of stuff. They didn't. Yeah, I'm just not sure. The show, as great as it was, did have a core issue with one of the main cast leaving, and do they replace them? Do they bring new people in? Do they expand the story? Do they pull it in? Do they go back to what it was before? And they tried a few things, and we'll see where it goes in the 3rd season. I haven't heard any rumours. I just know the first 2 seasons were great and were successful, so I'm assuming the 3rd season will be. I just hope season 2 comes on DVD soon, because the whole of Sex and the City and the films are on DVD and Blu-ray, and just like that, season 1 is on Blu-ray, DVD, so I hope that is as well, because I want to see it again in that collection.